10 tips on how to negotiate your salary. Tip number 1, the right combination of emotions. I understand that you would be really excited because you have done well. You've done phenomenally well in the interview. You have cracked it and you became the one who was picked up amongst all the candidates. So it is very exciting. This might be your dream job. However, along with the excitement, I also want you to gather up on your courage quotient, because unless you let go of that fear, it is not possible for you to actually ask what your worth is. Now, let me tell you, in most cases, you don't negotiate with the hiring manager, but with the HR manager. That's why they are there, to sort out all these logistics. And in a way, the HR managers are expecting it. So if you don't ask, you don't get it. Tip number 2, know your negotiator. Stalk them on LinkedIn to figure out their personality. What kind of leader are they? What kind of problems are they looking at resolving for their employees? The vocabulary, the language, the topics that they talk about, and leverage that all to establish a connect as you negotiate with that person. This will give you a good background. Tip number 3, research. Do your homework well to figure out the salary that is offered in that industry for that geographic location. And for that, you can use the various job sites. And I would suggest take into account all the variations of the salary. There are certain companies which would be paying higher for a role, and there would be companies which would be paying lower. And I want you to take all those variations into account as you figure out an average salary. Talk to the people in your network, people who are past colleagues, friends, or other professionals who are either in that similar position or people who are hiring for that position, and that will give you a fair idea of a base to get started with. Tip number 4, contextualize that number. So that salary that you have arrived at so far is based on external research that you have done. Now you have to back it up with your own experience, number of years, leadership experience. How long have you been working in a particular domain? How long on a technology? Across how many geographies? How many projects churned out? Leverage all this information to come up with a number which is your worth. And that's the number you need to ask. Tip number 5, keep it real. In your head, you should know the number that you want them to offer to you. And all that you have to do is to slowly nudge them towards that number. So let's say you want them to offer you $250,000. You give them a bracket where $250,000 is at the lower end of the bracket. I'm looking for a salary which is in the range of $250,000 to $260,000 should be your answer. And more often than not, they will end up accepting the lower range because they know that's the number that you're ready to accept the offer at. Or if you feel that you want to give them a broader range, you want to keep it open, a little more open, you can say, I'm looking for a salary range of $230,000 to $280,000. And that way you can keep it more open-ended and there's room for some flexibility on your side as well as theirs. Tip number 6, creating a win-win. Now this is a mistake, the biggest mistake that I've seen professionals making, because they are so focused on themselves. They are just drumming what is it that they want. If only you can shift the focus from yourself to them, if only you can get out of your frame, your own head, you will be able to show them clearly. You will be able to stamp what is it that they are getting in terms of your experience, your expertise, your leadership, your exposure by getting you in that company. If only both of you understand that well, if only you can leverage that information during your conversation, both of you would want to get this deal signed off. And that will make negotiation much more smoother. Tip number 7, increase your desirability quotient. In case you've got, only if you've got another offer with you at that time. Talk about it at the right time. Honestly, I've got 2 other offers sitting with me as of now, and I'm at that stage of life that I'm looking for XYZ. This way, you're being honest with them, that you're evaluating other options as well, and also you're creating that right FOMO where they do not want you to go away, and they'll be a little bit liberal in the negotiations with you because they've already gone through a long process and they feel that you are the right fit. Tip number 8. This one is my favorite. Think about every possible situation that can go wrong and prepare for it well in advance, which means listing out 3, 5, 7 things that might go against you. You're already aware of it. Maybe it is the fact that you're pregnant, or maybe it is you have not worked in a particular technology. Whatever it is, prepare for it well in advance so that it gives you enough confidence if at all that arises, a discussion around that arises in the interview room. Tip number 9, be open, be agile. Know that it is not possible for you to prepare in advance for all the possible scenarios. There would be something that you will have to deal with right there in that moment. Be open for it. Go with the mindset that I will give it my 100%. I'll give it my best shot. And then let's see where it takes me to. And that mindset will put you at ease while you're confidently doing the negotiation. And lastly, let me give you that exact script that you can leverage to do that negotiation confidently. Not a big one, just a simple sentence. I do understand that this is what you are considering, but taking into account my experience across the industry in similar roles and the knowledge that I bring to the table, I do believe that this is my true worth. Quote the number or the bracket. All the best. You're now fully equipped to go into that negotiation room.